What's up, guys? It's Robert from Scattermind Central. This is going to be the third episode of That Infernal Noise, which is my solo podcast. Uh, so turn it off now if you don't want to hear me talk for the next 30 minutes or so. I want to explain what that infernal noise means to me, and then it's going to lead into the episode that I'm recording right now. It's got a couple of different meanings, but the most prevalent one, at least in my life right now, is the noise in the back of my head. The constant chatter telling me that I'm not good enough, things are never going to get better, and just all manner of heinous shit that basically breaks me down to the point where I just want to give fucking up. Things aren't bad. I mean, shit in my life's been a lot worse. A lot worse. A lot more often. I feel like I've made progress as a person, and then whenever I feel like that, something happens and makes me regress or makes me mentally unstable, and I start taking it out on everybody. I had to quit drinking because I would always take it out on niche. And it started happening to other people that I cared about as well. I mean, obviously, niche is the biggest part of my life and the last one I want to do anything to. And I had to watch myself. Well, not even watch myself. I had to. The best way that I can explain it is whenever I would get blackout drunk, it was like being John Malkovich, where you could see what was happening. You knew you were looking through those eyes, but you couldn't do anything to stop it. And I would just lash out. And I remember things like Gabriel would talk about in his formative years. The clip show, where you just see certain things and you have certain feelings and you remember bits and pieces. And the bits and pieces you don't remember, you get filled in. And you don't know which one's worse. The shit you do remember or the shit you don't remember. And whenever I'm left to my own devices, whenever things start going tits up, that noise comes back. And usually with a vengeance. Like, yeah, everything's going good now, but remember this shit? It's going to go back to that. You're going to start drinking again. You're going to start smoking again. You're going to gain weight back. The kids are not going to be as good as they are. Niche is going to end up wising the fuck up and taking the fuck off. Or cheating on you, or whatever fucked up thing pops into my head. I don't know why it does. It just does. It's not fun. I've been depressed the majority of my life. I don't even know if I want to say it. I've been suicidal the majority of most of my adult life. I'm not proud of it. It terrifies me, actually. You guys bear with me, because this is, I have a hard time letting go. I have a hard time expressing myself. So whenever I start to, everything just wants to come out like a fucking torrent. And that's something else that bothers me. Like, as a guy, as a dude, as a father, as a husband, brother, son, whatever the fuck, we're taught from such a young age not to show emotion, not like, oh, you're better than that, you're smarter than that, you're stronger than that, whatever the situation is. And from personal experience, I can tell you I'm not You know, a lot of people have said it over the years that I was the strong one, or that I was the one that they looked to, or people have even told me that I inspire them. And while I appreciate that sentiment, I really do, I'm glad that I'm able to do that for people. I really am. I feel like I'm a fraud. Because the whole time I'm giving people advice, or I know what everybody else should do, I got no fucking clue when it comes to my goddamn self. I don't want to die, per se. I know that doesn't sound any better. I don't want I don't want to feel anything anymore. I'm one of those people that has been made fun of my entire life, even recently, and I'm not talking shit about anybody. It's just a fact. Because I'm the bleeding heart. Because I'm the quote unquote emo one. Because I'm the emotional one. And I see a lot of it in Chris, and it scares the fuck out of me. I see some of it in Kaylee, it scares the fuck out of me. Because I know where my mind is at 30 fucking 5. The only good thing for them is that they haven't. I'm not saying that the plights that they've gone through and the things that they've experienced are important, because they are. To every teenager, to every kid, what they go through is super important, and I understand that. But in the grand scheme of things, they haven't had to go through the things that I've had to go through in my life. The things that my wife has had to go through, or their mom, or their stepdad, or damn near any of our friends. I can't think of any of us that had the quote unquote perfect family life or whatever. I would say that I probably got the closest, if I'm like really thinking about it. But that's because of grandma and grandpa. And all of this, all of the feelings of inadequacy and all that shit, the depression, the manic mood swings, all of it, it's never gone away. I've tried to fool myself and pretend that it has, and act like, yeah, I'm better. But I'm not. I'm not better. I haven't gotten better. I guess I've just got better at hiding it. Which is probably not a fucking good thing. I understand how people are suicidal. I really do. And I know that's not going to make me any friends. I know that's not, oh, it's not funny, it's not something to joke about, blah, 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 whatever the fuck. It's not a joke to me. It scares the fuck out of me, to be completely honest. I know I got a lot to live for. I know I do. I got a bunch of friends that give a fuck about me. Like real friends, not the shitty sycophants that would use me before. My circle's small, but I love it. I know I got my kids. As much as they irritate the fuck out of me sometimes. No, not every day is roses. Not every day is fucking shit. Sometimes you're just in a bad mood and you end up taking it out on your fucking kids. Sometimes they're in a bad mood, they take it out on you. And then you feel just shitty beyond belief. And it breaks your fucking heart. But you can't say anything about it because you're a dad. Moms can say shit like that, but dads can't. And I know I got niche. Why, I don't fucking know. She should have left a long fucking time ago. And I'm not trying to be cute. I'm not trying to be funny. I don't think I deserve her. I really don't. She's had to deal with so much shit in the course of her life, and I feel like I just add to that. And that's another reason why I feel like I understand suicide, where it's just like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I feel like I'm doing more harm than good. I feel like I'm holding everybody back. Like I'm the one preventing everybody from living their best life. And that's not just with niche. 90% of the time I feel like if something happened to me, it really wouldn't make a difference. And I know she'd argue with me, and I know the kids would argue with me. But I'm being honest. I'm not a fan of these thoughts. And the real mindfuck of it all is that nobody knows. And that is 100% my fault. Because I don't say anything. I lie to everybody else because I lie to myself. But I'm constantly overwhelmed. I got 4 kids. I have a wife. I have a full-time job. I do this. I do this because I love it. This is my therapy. And I'm sure it's corny to some people, and I'm sure it's like, oh, fucking stupid, of course, it's another fucking podcast, blah, 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 whatever. I am truly passionate about podcasting. I really am. And I know that's probably lame to a lot of people. Everybody would say I like listening to myself talk, and that's why I like podcasts so much. Which, there's probably some truth to that. But the main reason I do this, and I talk so freely on this, is because I can't to anybody else. Even the people that think they know me the best, and they do to a certain extent, I don't even let them in. Because I feel like I can't talk to anybody. Not that everybody won't listen. I guess it's because I don't feel like anybody really cares. And that's not saying anything negative about anybody in my life. It's really not. That has more to do with the self-deprecation and the doubt and the worry that everybody's just kind of tolerating me. And I'm sure that stems from my childhood. I don't talk about my feelings. I hate it. I hate it. Because I feel it shows weakness. Because I'm told my entire life that it shows weakness. I can't afford therapy. I can't afford the fucking life I live now. Much less adding something like that to it. Nobody knows this side of me. Nobody knows. Everybody sees me or hears me, and I might not be like the most exuberant or outgoing person, but I would like to think that I always have a smile on my face. I would like to think that whenever I do say something, I'm trying to make people laugh, or I'm trying to lighten the mood or whatever. I don't think anybody would have any idea that I'm so far down the rabbit hole whenever it comes to depression or quote unquote mental illness. I don't like saying that though because it sounds like something way different. And there's a stigma attached to it, obviously. I know life's hard for everybody. I get that. Life's difficult. Everybody's got choices to make. Everybody's got their own cross to bear, as it were. And I got mine. I would like to think this isn't a cry for help. I would like to think that at some point people aren't going to play this back and be like, see, he fucking did it. And he was telling us right fucking here. No, I'm not planning on killing myself. None of that fucking bullshit. Because as weak as I feel right now, I feel like that's way weaker. And I know that right at this very moment. I know that. I've lost too many fucking people. I know I have. Friends. Family. Not even just to death. Just realizing that I've outlived my usefulness with people, so they just up and bail. Or I get tired of people taking advantage of me and I tell them fuck you, and then they're just like, oh, well, you're a piece of shit and you're this and you're that and self-centered and blah 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 blah. That's happened way more than once. I've had people tell me I'm crazy, which I guess that one's pretty fucking obvious. I'm not thrilled about it. I'm not proud of it. It sucks, actually. It sucks whenever you're supposed to be the stiff upper lip. You got everybody through their shit. Only to have yours fall to the wayside because you'd rather focus on other people's stuff than getting your stuff together. Mentally, emotionally. Shit, physically sometimes. And that's who I am. I'm the guy that would rather take on everybody else's problems than solve my own. I can tell everybody a mile a minute how to do this, that, and the third. But whenever it comes to fixing my own life, I know what needs to be done. I know what I need to do. I do. I really do. But it just seems so insurmountable. It seems like no matter what, nothing's ever going to get better. And then I get overwhelmed even more. And then I want to break down. And then I decide I can't break down because if I break down, then that's going to affect Niche. It's going to affect the kids. It's going to affect my day. I'm not going to be productive at work. Take your pick. Shit, it's usually all of the above. So I force myself to push through. And push through and push through and push through until I come out on the other side and I realize there ain't nothing left to push through and I'm left alone with my thoughts and everything that I thought I worked past. Only to find that, nah, you really fucking didn't. And because you didn't address them for so long, they're way worse now. I live in a constant state of fear. Of everything. Most of all myself. I fear drinking. Not just because it hurts Niche, but because it hurts me. Because I'm not the same. I know I'm not the same. I do like having clarity in mind. And not drinking gave me that. I do wish weed was legal. Because if it was, I'd at least get some sort of respite from all this shit and be able to shut my brain off, even if it's just for a couple of hours. Because anytime anybody sees me, there's at least 2 or 3 fucked up thoughts going through my head. Or some inadequacy, or something about depression, or something negative. And I try to be positive. I try to be a positive person. I really do. I try to keep everything upbeat. I try to see on the bright side of things. I mean, I at this point, I don't even know if it's real or if it's just a put on. If I faked it so much that I just think that I'm that person. Or if I'm still the same 20-something asshole that only cared about himself. And I've just pretended to be this family guy, loyal husband, whatever else, whatever other adjective you would add to it. I would like to think that I'm a good person, but that noise tells me otherwise quite often. The noise tells me that because I was such a piece of shit before in my life that there's no penance. There's no coming back from it. That no matter what, you're always going to be the same person to a lot of people. And I mean, I guess that's their prerogative. I'm entitled to think what I think. They're entitled to think what they think. So that's fair, I guess. But I know for a fact my opinion has changed to people based on things that I've seen since I felt wronged by them. And that's pretty much fucking everybody that I've ever met, because I feel wronged or something with everybody. I mean, shit, even with the kids. Not wronged, but hurt. I've been hurt by my kids. Multiple times. And yeah, it's just me getting my feelings hurt about shit, but we've already established that I'm an emo nutbag, so I have feelings. I have emotions. Whether or not I would like to fucking admit it. I try to keep this side hidden. I really do. Because I don't want everybody to know how fucked up I am. I try to avoid it as much as possible, but I guess that's served me pretty well so far, right? People at work don't even realize that I have vocal cords, probably. I talk a little bit, but I keep it innocuous. I've let a few, what I think are pearls of wisdom, slip out here and there, but I try to keep it light. I try to keep it pointless, basically, because I don't want anybody to get to know me. And I've always been like that. I'd much rather talk about you. I'd much rather hear about your shit, unless I have a funny story, in which case then I'll pipe up, because I like telling funny stories. I would dare say that's the only thing that kept me sane low these many years. It's because I like to laugh. Always have. I said that in one of my other episodes. It's my favorite thing. I like smiles. I like putting smiles on people's faces specifically. I like making people think. I like the person that I am most of the time. But whenever that noise starts going, I feel like I don't even know who I am anymore. There's certain moments in my life where I look back and I'm flabbergasted that I made it as far as I have. Because there's been several instances where I can look back and be like, I should have been gone then. I should have been gone then. And I'm not. Why? I don't know. In my younger days, I would have said it was some kind of divine providence. That I was put here to do something fucking special. That I was meant to be something. That's what the 20-something me thought. The 35-year-old me says that's delusions of grandeur. You and every other asshole. I want to be important. That's the one thing I've never felt like I was. I always felt like I was expendable. And yeah, that comes from my fucking mommy issues. No shit. Where else is it gonna come from? Well, I mean, I guess the daddy issues too. Whatever. But I'm really apathetic about that. I still feel wronged. I still feel hurt. 30 fucking 5. And I still feel that. No, it's probably not fair. But I don't think it's fair to me either. I don't think it's fair that I have to deal with all this shit on a daily basis. Some days are better than others. Some days are worse than others. And I can trace it all back to that. Yeah, I should get over it. Yeah, I'm petty. Holding on to shit. Etc., etc. I think a lot of the problem in the world today, in general, is that whenever people do what I am doing right now, and speaking their mind, and saying the things that bother them, that hurt them, speaking of weakness and inadequacy, and having these sort of feelings, a la the suicidal, the depression, the whatever else you want to call it, we're stigmatized. Especially as guys, we're stigmatized. And we're not supposed to be like this. We're supposed to be stronger than that, etc., etc., like I've already said. Instead of hearing it. Instead of wanting to fix it. Wanting to help somebody fix it. Not because you feel like you can repair some broken toy and you're going to be this and that to that person. Not for any of that. Selflessly. To be selfless, truly selfless, and give of yourself to other people because that's what you feel you need to do. I try to do that. I don't help people. Well, okay, no, I take that back. I do help people because it makes me feel good. I will 100% admit that. But I am there for my friends. I am there for my children. I am there for my wife. I am there for anybody that needs me. I might not be the most responsive sometimes. Rico knows that better than fucking anybody. I'm sure he's the only one that fucking texts me. I'm not good at it sometimes. I'm not good at even being a friend. In my mind. I want to be. I would like to think that I am selfless sometimes. But some would argue that the act of doing this in and of itself is selfish. So, whatever. You're hearing yourself talk, and you're going to put it out for God and everybody to hear. Because you like your own voice. That's where the noise comes in. Because I do things like this with the purest of intentions. One, to express myself, because I have a very, very hard time doing that in general. I do want to express myself. And I feel like that this is the only judgment-free way to do that. Not because people don't judge me, but because I'm speaking right now and just talking. And There is nobody immediately judging me right at this very second as I'm recording this. And so often, whenever people open up this way and have a conversation with their loved ones, like, say, for instance, if Niche and I are having a conversation, which has happened on occasion, and I'm explaining to her why I feel the way that I feel because she did XYZ. Whatever bothered me, hurt me, whatever the situation is. As I'm explaining that, the automatic reaction, not just from her, just people in general, is, well, you did blah, 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 blah. Or I did this because of da-da-da-da-da, justifying whatever it was, even though it's a negative thing that I feel in that moment. And that's something that she and I have worked on personally, is whenever we feel like we need to say something to the other party, usually something that has irritated us or hurt us or whatever, we let the other person talk. We don't try to legitimize it. I'm not going to say it happens all the time, because it doesn't, because I still do it. I always try to make myself look like the better person in the situation. I've always been the person that has an excuse for everything, or has an out for everything, or whatever. I see multiple angles, and I've always done that. So I'm not saying it's just her. I'm not saying it's just anybody. I do it myself, for the record. But everybody tries to turn whatever it is on them. Well, I did the best I could, and whatever other bullshit explanation. That doesn't justify it. That doesn't take away the negativity. That doesn't take away all the neuroses that have developed because of said actions, or because of said feelings, or whatever the situation is. And I think, as I'm talking through all of this, yes, this was the whole point. I think that's where everything comes from for me. It's just me always wanting to be heard, because I never was. I grew up in an age where children are meant to be seen and not heard, and suck it up, pussy, stop crying. Or, oh, dude, you're acting like a bitch right now. You're fucking in love, or whatever. Only posers fall in love. I was a poser. I was a lover, not a fighter. I'm gonna fucking admit it now. And yeah, I wasn't even good at that, so go fucking figure. That's why I do this podcast. You guys heard it. You heard it as I came across it in my own mind. I want to be heard, and that's why I do this. That's why I wanted to do podcasting. That's why I fell in love with podcasting. That's why I listen to so many of them, because I feel that people doing podcasts have the same feeling that I do, and I'm trying to pay them the same respect that I would want people to pay to me. And listen. Just listen. Because you can't interact with somebody whenever you're listening to them on a podcast. All you can do is take it in. You can talk about it afterwards, but you can't do it real time. That's why I like doing it. Well, I guess this is my catharsis. I guess with all this negative shit being said, now that I've effectively ruined everybody's day, I like talking things out. It helps me. Niche has heard me do it God knows how many times. Where I just start talking and I just start rambling and rambling. And then I'll stop in the middle of the conversation. I'll look her dead in the eyes and be like, huh, that's why I think this, or this is why I do this, or whatever the situation is. Or shit, just have some random revelation about Star Wars. She listens to all of it. She really does. Why, I don't fucking know. But I enjoy doing this. I need to do this more because my biggest thing in life in general is self-realization. Having self-realization. Always trying to grow as a person and trying to understand myself better so I can understand the world better, so I can understand the people around me better, and all that. I do love sociology. I love psychology. I love understanding what makes people tick. Even though I'm the poster boy for the fucking criminally insane. What I'm going to do going forward for this podcast is just do exactly what I did in this episode. I'm going to pick something that's bothering me, something that's been on my mind, and I'm just going to start talking. I didn't have this shit written down, by the way. I didn't have talking points. None of that shit. I just turned the mic on because I've been feeling depressed and just started talking. I didn't know why at the time. I just did. Now I know why. Because I felt that I needed to talk, and that me talking would help me feel lighter, feel like I got some of it off of my chest, that, okay, now I can move the fuck on, instead of dwelling on all this shit. Does it go away? No, absolutely not. That noise is always there. That infernal noise. If you don't know what infernal means, look it up. It'll make sense. The noise is always there. The noise is always going to be there. That's how you deal with it. I guess that's what I needed to learn this time. It's all in how you deal with it. Are you going to let it sit in your chest, turn into a ball of hate and anger and resentment and whatever else? Or are you going to let it out? For me, I can't let it out to my friends. I can't let it out to Niche. I can't really let it out to the kids. And that's not saying that none of those people would listen, because I know they would. The same way I would listen to them. I can't because it hurts too much to do that. I have to let it out in my own way. Okay? And this is my own way. Sitting in front of a microphone on a Friday night in my house by myself. The rain is coming down. The picture that I just painted is the most emo fucking thing possible. And I swear on everything holy, I'm not making it up. Like, I wish I could write this well. I felt alone initially whenever I was recording this. And as it's gone on, I don't feel alone anymore. And I don't know why. As weird as that is to say, I have no idea why. This is my outlet. This is how I get my emotions out. This is how I get my thoughts out. Because I spend so much time diluting myself and holding myself back. And it's not imposed by anybody but me. And I know that. As outgoing as I am with my circle, I still hold back. And I probably will continue to do so. Because everybody's got their own shit. Everybody's got enough fucking problems. And I will continue to be there for my friends. and I will continue to be there for everybody. And I will continue to be there for everybody that has me in their life. Because I do care. No, I don't want attention. No, I'm not going to kill myself. This needs to be my outlet. And then back in the day, it was writing music. But everybody started doing that. And everybody kind of judges the music thing. You're like, oh, well, whatever. And I'm sure everybody judges this too. But I've never felt completely confident in the music. The writing stories and lyrics and crafting a song, I was all about the creative part of it. I fucking loved it. I still love it. I don't get to do it as much as I would like, but I love that part of it. Because I fancy myself a storyteller. I fancy myself very loquacious, as it were. But I feel like talking is what I'm supposed to do. I mean, as far back as I can remember, we would all, well, not we all, but as far back as I can remember, I would get drunk to a certain level, not blackout, fuck the world drunk, but just get buzzed and just start talking. And for some reason, the majority of people I've been around enjoy that. I'm not sure why, but to me it lends credence to maybe I should talk. No, I can't talk in front of people. I have terrible stage fright. I don't like talking in front of people. I don't like giving presentations. I don't like performing. Any of that shit. It gives me the chills just thinking about it. Now, at 35. And yes, Chris, I realize I'm a hypocrite if you're listening to this, because I was just telling you about standing up in front of people and you're going to have to get over your fear because you just need to, blah, 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 blah. Yes, I'm a fucking hypocrite. I know. But I think I'm... Okay, it's going to sound egotistical. I think I'm good at this. And you can blame Niche for that. She always tells me that she likes listening to me talk. Even if it's just about whatever theory I have about professional wrestling, or talking about Star Wars lore, or her listening to me ramble on about the potential of the multiverse and the different possibilities and what dreams may be and all the shit that fascinates me. I'm pretty lucky. I'm also very bipolar, in case you didn't notice. Sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees. Like, you know you're there, but you're not completely in the now. You know, you're not completely present. You're not aware. You're just not focused on what you need to be focused on. You're focused on the tree in front of you instead of the forest around you. And while that tree may be decrepit, may be blocking your path, the forest around you is teeming with life and potential. And I think all of us, especially myself, need to remember that. I hope you guys stuck with me, because I'm kind of pouring my heart and soul out here. It's a long listen, longer than I intended, but I don't know. We'll see how it comes out. I would like everybody's feedback. I know that this is kind of a heavy subject, and I know that it got really dark because, well, that's just the way that I am. But I want to start a dialogue is the main thing with this. I want to start a dialogue. I want people to start talking and destigmatize the things that I feel, the things that my wife and everybody that I know ends up feeling and feels like they can't talk about it because they're going to be fucking crazy. I'm like, yeah, okay, there might be something wrong with us. But if there's something wrong with all of us, doesn't that mean it's just the norm? So shouldn't we be able to talk about it? Food for thought. You guys can follow me. I'm on Twitter and Facebook at That Infernal NPC. You can follow all of our podcasts, That Infernal Noise, Chronicles of a Peculiar Mom, To Raise a Child, I Can't Believe We're Friends. All of it on Scattermind Central, on Podbean. We're also on Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, basically wherever you get your podcast from. So check us out, leave us some love, or fuck yous, either way. As long as numbers, that's all that matters. So in closing, I will say everybody needs to be nicer to each other, but more importantly to yourselves.